Let's talk about Square Enix and Eidos. So it's been a while since I've done one of these, so bear with me. So Square Enix recently sold off pretty much the Eidos branch of their company. They're the ones who bought them back originally in, I believe it was 2008, 2009, the very end of the 2000s. Flashback about 12 years later, 15 years later, and now Square Enix wants nothing to do with them. It's very interesting because throughout their whole history together, Square Enix always seemed to expect the world from Eidos. They expected a lot of money, big bucks, and they never delivered despite the fact that they kind of did. I remember everyone being very surprised when Tomb Raider sold 4 million copies. And Square Enix wasn't happy with that. They deemed it a failure and then greenlit a sequel. Same thing happened with Sleeping Dogs, which is a great game that was released in the early 2010s. That one, I believe, sold, or somewhere around the ballpark of 2 million copies, and still wasn't good enough for them. And that was a running story with them. Nothing ever seemed to be good enough for Square Enix when it came to their Western developed games, which was Eidos. I don't know what that company expected from them, but it was always too much, and that was always the running gag, that Square Enix was never happy with Eidos, which raised a question, why did they buy them to begin with? So I guess it's actually a good thing that Square Enix has decided to just sell off their entire Western division over to Embracer Group for about 300 mil, which is underestimating the value of that company, because the Tomb Raider reboot series was great, Sleeping Dogs was great, and most of the games that came out of their Deus Ex Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, even though some people didn't like that one as much, were all great games. Really, the only failure I can think about that was just not worth it was the Avengers. That was definitely not worth it. And I've even heard some good things about Guardians of the Galaxy, which was in the same vein. Those games were failures for them. I don't know what's going on at Square Enix. It seems like something strange has been going on with Square Enix for some time now. Even with their Japanese division, it seems like they want something from these games and this company that seems unrealistic. Maybe it's the push that they're now doing for NFTs. Maybe it's the fact that it takes like 10 years to make a Final Fantasy game now. Maybe it's the fact that they just can't seem to get their own shit together to really make a whole bunch of games the way that they used to, yet expect the world and much more from their other owned companies. Either way, the way that I look at it, the relationship between Square Enix and the Eidos branch of theirs was toxic, and I'm glad that they ended up selling them to Embracer Group, because hopefully Embracer Group will allow them to do more things that they want. And recently there was just a story saying that Eidos Montreal, or whatever they end up renaming themselves to, is going to bring back Deus Ex. So that sounds great. That's what that studio was known for and wanted to do anyways, so good for them.